Improving your credit begins with knowing what your credit score is. And to gain this knowledge, I want you to dedicate 7 days to this so you can achieve a perfect credit score. You figure, what's the catch? Well, nothing. It's actually free. So let's get right into it. So on the first day, I want you to use this day to obtain copies of your credit reports from each of the major credit bureaus. You got Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. How do you do this? Well, you could use an official website authorized by the feds to provide a free copy of your credit report, like annualcreditreport.com. You're entitled to 1 free copy of your report per year. Now, once you have your reports in hand, give them a thorough review. Take note of any negative items that you could be having an adverse effect or impact on your credit score. Not only that, ensure that all this information is accurate and up to date. Dispute any errors you find, because identifying these issues will put you in a better position to take corrective measures. That's what you'll do on this first day. Now, on your second day, I want you to sign up for that free monitoring like Experian or Credit Karma. Signing up for credit monitoring is a wise financial move, because with this credit monitoring system, you can keep an eye on your credit reports and identify areas that may need improvement, such as high credit card balances or missed payments. Credit monitoring websites give you access to your credit reports, which can be beneficial when you are applying for credit or loans. You could review your reports to ensure their accuracy and timeliness before submitting your application, which may increase your chances of approval. So on this second day, you'll just sign up for the credit score monitoring, and that's it, basically. So let's move on to the third day. Let's start by paying your bills on time, the most important financial responsibility. Now, your payment history is the highest ranking component of your credit score, and being a month or 2 late can have a major effect on your credit. Late payments and non-payments, such as foreclosures and repossessions, show creditors that you are not a good credit risk, and you don't want that to happen. So now, to improve your credit score, start by checking your credit report for inaccuracies in your payment history. If you find an error, dispute it in writing with the credit bureau. Once you verify the accuracy of your payment history, consider asking for a goodwill deletion for late payments that you're caught up on. You could do this by writing a goodwill letter to your creditor explaining your situation and requesting that they remove the late payment from your credit report. Rebuilding your credit can take up to 2 to 3 years, so don't mess up your payments. On the fourth day, now this one, I'm going to teach you exactly how not to mess up your payments by obviously setting up autopay. This will help you ensure that your payments are always made on time, even if you get busy or forgetful. You could also consider setting up minimum payments for your credit card bills to avoid any late fee or interest charges. If you're uncomfortable with autopay, it's important that you establish a routine for paying your bills. Set aside a time twice a month to go through any bills due between the 1st and the 15th, and between the 15th and the last day of the month. By staying organized and diligent, you can avoid paying your bills late over and over. Now remember that payment history makes up a significant portion of your credit score, so keep that in mind. So we're getting closer to the 7th day. It's now the 5th day, and it's time to see how much available credit you have versus the amount of credit you're using. So for example, if you have a total credit limit of $20,000 and you've charged up to $14,000, then you're using 70% of your available credit. This can negatively impact your credit score, as it indicates to lenders and credit scoring models that you rely heavily on credit. It's important to keep this percentage as low as possible. I usually suggest lower than 30%, which is the threshold. But Leo, how do I achieve this, you're probably asking? Well, your first goal should be to get your credit usage down to 50% or less, meaning you should be using less than $10,000 of your available credit. From there, you can work towards getting it down to 30% or less by paying off your debt gradually. You'll see jumps in your credit score, and as you make progress towards these goals, because you'll have more available credit. Ultimately, your goal should be to get your credit usage down to 10% or less. I like 30%, which is below the threshold. This means using less than $2,000 of all your $20,000 credit. You need to create a plan for paying down your debt and stick to it. Avoid charging anything additional to your credit cards until you're beneath that 10% threshold. And if you do need to charge something, make sure you can pay it off quickly to avoid adding to your debt. On the 6th day, call your credit card companies and ask them to increase your limit. Increasing your credit limit can expand your available credit, potentially allowing you to reach those goals more quickly. It may be worth contacting each of your credit card companies individually, either by phone or through an online request form to inquire about increasing your credit limit. Depending on your credit history and the specific policies of each company, you may be able to raise your limit from, let's say, $6,000 to $7,000 or $8,000. But it's important for you to know that not all credit card issuers will agree to a limit increase. The key here is to use the increased limit only as a tool to help you reach that 50, 30, and 10% goals you established earlier, rather than an invitation to spend beyond your means. So here we are, it's the 7th day. Now let's talk about the important factors for establishing really good credit, and it's the length of your credit history. First is the credit mix, which includes installments and revolving debt. Installment debt is borrowing a lump sum of money and then paying it back through regular payments such as student loans, car loans, mortgages. Revolving debt is using credit cards where you can borrow and pay back the money repeatedly. To establish good credit, I recommend having a mix of both. If you don't have any credit history, you can start with a secured credit card where you put your own money on the card and then charge and pay it back to establish a credit history. But avoid opening too many credit accounts as it may negatively impact your credit score. Second, inquiries on your credit, which happen when you apply for credit or someone checks your credit. You can dispute inaccuracies and inquiries on your credit report, but if they are accurate, just leave them alone. Instead, focus on improving the other aspects that you can control. Start by addressing the negative items that have appeared in the last year on your credit report, as they have the most significant impact on your score. If you clean up those items, you should see an improvement in your score immediately. Now remember, high credit score means you are likely to qualify for low interest rates, lower insurance premiums, more purchasing power, flexibility, easier to get approved for rental applications. Lenders may be willing to work with you more than anyone else and offer you better terms if you got a strong credit history, and access to premium credit cards and rewards programs like cashback, travel rewards, and access to airport lounges. That's pretty good, right? I mean, I use credit all the time, even for my flipping business, and I don't use my own money, which is another plus. So if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments, and thanks so much for watching my video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.